into this trope. It's kind of like a follow-on, almost like a sequel to the previous damsel in distress. Now we've got the not like other girls trope. So the first thing I want to ask you guys is, which character comes to mind when you hear that trope? Not like other girls.
Specifically a character?
Um, yeah, let's keep it to characters. It can be, from a book, from a show, or anything like that. Just someone who embodies that type of the type of
I've got
character.
two on the
Okay.
top of the brain straight away. I've got Fat Amy from Pitch Perfect and Wednesday
You
from
Oh,
The
mean
Addams
Fat
Family.
Patricia? You mean Fat Patricia?
wait, Wednesday. We got some Wednesday hate early on.
It's not Wednesday hate, but she does fit the sort of I'm not like other girls trope compared to the TV series, compared to, is it Edith?
Edith.
I can't think of her name right now. But they're obviously like completely opposite.
Yeah.
So she, like, her roommate's got the blog and she's much more into social media and that sort of thing. Whereas Wednesday's like, you're literally boring. And
Wow.
I don't need a man. Like,
Did you did you look at any of the Addams Family lore before this Wednesday series just popped out?
yeah, I watched the film
The
with my
original one.
family, but that was, yeah,
Christina
that
Ricci?
but that was a long time ago. I'm just a General Ortega fan. I just like her. And then I saw that she was in it and I was like, oh, well, I'm gonna
What,
have to watch that now.
But you don't like
well, I asked
Wednesday.
because well, I asked because Christina Ricci, I thought she stood out as that, not only just that role that she played as Wednesday, but also her characters in almost anything she's been in
Yeah.
stands out as I'm not that typical girl. And I think that has to do because she doesn't look like a typical girl. She looks, she doesn't have that traditional beauty, that the other girls have.
Typical
She has the
standards.
bug eyes,
Yeah,
right? It's like that she had to acquire a role that made sense for her physique too.
yeah. So do you think now it's just boxed in, like those are the kinds of roles she's gonna get, and same with Jenna Ortega, because she's not like, traditional standards of, attraction or something like that. Do you think it's kind of like a little box that's forming there?
I think Jenna Ortega is very attractive, and I think that she has got a dynamic. Like, I haven't seen her in masses of stuff. Like, the only other thing that comes to my mind right now is that weird unicorn film she was in recently, but I have no idea what
That
it's called.
describes whatever it is perfectly, I'm sure.
Weird.
A weird unicorn film.
Oh, what's his name? The guy that plays Ant-Man. Is it him? They're like,
Oh,
they go on like a family
Paul
vacation
Rudd?
and they find this unicorn that's like,
Oh, I know what you're talking about. It's a horror movie. It's a horror.
yeah,
Yes,
The
I know what you're talking
unicorn.
about. It's Paul Rudd.
and they find a unicorn and then they're like, oh, but like we could make so much
I
money
haven't
out of
watched
it.
it. I haven't
Yeah.
watched it
I
yet.
haven't seen it, but like
I
that's a
have the
very
movie.
different role compared to Wednesday.
Yeah.
So I think like she does have the chance to do other things. I don't know how she is as a character in that,
Mm.
and I might be completely lying and completely wrong, but I don't watch anything horror, so I have no idea.
So we got someone who's not a fan of Wednesday. That's interesting.
Well, my statement to that is, as I'm thinking about it, I think when you think about not like other girls,
Yeah.
I do tie that to it's not just the role. Usually the women who find themselves in that role, usually they're not always trying for that role, right?
Yeah.
They're pushed into that role because, Abby, you said, I think, the Lady Ortega is beautiful. Don't disagree with you, but she's a unique beauty.
Yeah.
She's not a typical beauty. And those are two different beauties. And I think certain beauties are pushed into certain roles because they are unorthodox in a sense, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, the one I would serve up is obviously Bella from Twilight. She only existed for that. She's a bit different, and they really
I don't like it.
they
I
really
don't like
made
it. I want you to pick somebody else.
they really made a
I
point. Do
I
you like
refuse.
Do you like Bella?
I refuse to allow you to finish this statement. Pick someone else.
Come on, man! Like,
Why? No, I think we even
Hear
talked
you
about her
out,
before.
ignore him.
come on, though. Like, look at the crossover here. She only exists for that purpose, to fill the role of, oh, look at how different she is to all the girls around her. And you know what I mean? Like, it goes against.
She was just
Like,
human.
she's got
I
two
think it's different.
supernatural beings fighting for her, obviously, because she's so different and so special.
You agree with me, don't you, Abby? You got my back on this. All right.
There was nothing special
I agree.
about her.
This is what I'm saying.
Exactly.
There was
Other
nothing
than
special.
Her, you know how different she is. That's all it is.
There was nothing different. She blended in with Anna Kendrick. You couldn't tell the difference between them two if you stood them next to each other in that movie. In movie number 1, there was no difference.
But again,
Fight me on that.
Edward
I mean,
knew.
no,
Edward knew.
I'm not
because
disagreeing.
he has sense of smell. It's different. He's a wolf.
Don't
Come
you-
She was
on
special
now.
because she smelt bad.
Yeah, like, this is what I'm saying, and it's like almost the most paper thin character, and this is why she's gonna keep coming up in these conversations, because she embodies so many of these tropes done poorly, but it only worked because, again, the time. I don't think Twilight works like in current day. I don't think it doesn't have the same appeal yet. Women love vampires and werewolves and the rest of it, but I just don't think it would hit the same.
It was iconic at the time, though. When it came out, it was iconic. Nobody had ever seen anything like it before.
That's what I think, and I think you can get away with a lot if you just, you're early to a trope. That's another discussion we'll have to have. But like the timing of when a trope is and what the climate is at the time it's released, because like vampires were very popular back then. And again, I suppose the trope itself, the not like other girls, it wasn't as worn out, let's say, but at this point. And another one, again, this is someone who's going to keep appearing in these conversations, Captain Marvel.
How did I know that's what you were going to say?
No,
how did I read your mind just
No,
then?
but listen, you got to hear me out on this. She only existed to be different. It wasn't like, all right, you'll see what I'm talking about when I give you my example of a good version of this trope. But she only existed to be different. That was her character trait. The fact she was different. It wasn't like a combination of things that made her different. She was almost created to be like, oh, this. It's almost like a blend of two annoying tropes: the chosen one and the not like other girls. Because it's like, oh, look at me, I'm gonna go and take on Thanos 1-on-1. No one else could do that. Did you see the push she got in the last Avengers film? She had all the key moments. She was the hero. She took it all on.
She's literally like supersonic strong. Hello. Why would you not use the best tool in your toolkit?
But you could see it was a little. It was a little forced. Like the character is bland. Like she didn't deserve that kind of. She got one of the key moments in the whole.
She didn't earn it.
That's perfect. That's encapsulates the whole.
Sorry, Captain Marvel lovers. This is not the podcast for you. Leave now while you can. Run.
It's not. But what you said is perfect. She didn't earn it. Those powers. It was an accident. There was no like training sequence where she built up to getting that level of power, and we'll get more into that a bit later on when we talk about how to circumvent the trope. But yeah, it's the dissatisfaction of her being given all this power. It was an accident. It wasn't meant to happen. It was just right place, right time. You're the most powerful in Marvel now. How can you be satisfied with that?
That's the trope that happens a lot in Marvel.
No, but even look at Peter Parker, for example. Like what came with he had the power to stop a lot of things, but he couldn't. He could only be in one place at one time, and there were a lot of consequences that came with it. So although he didn't necessarily earn
He didn't
it,
choose to get bitten by the spider. The spider just said, "I'm gonna eat you," and that's how it came to be.
no. But listen to
Like
this.
Deadpool. Deadpool didn't choose to get put in that weird experiment. He thought he was gonna have his life saved.
But
The villain put him in that situation.
he was immortal, so he's a whole different. He's a completely annoying different trope.
He just tried to get rid of his disease, and he came out immortal. That wasn't his choice. He didn't want to live forever. He just wanted to not have cancer.
Yeah, exactly. But look
So
at this.
he didn't actually choose that.
But connect this back to Captain Marvel, and the reason why I'm choosing her specifically. Deadpool had other traits that made him a somewhat likable character. You cannot sit here and defend Captain Marvel as a character. Her powers are cool.
Like try, just to annoy you.
I know there's an agenda here.
You know what? I need to apologize because I forget we start off with the worst examples of this trope, and then we get to the better examples. And you went all the way in on the worst, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all.
What?
I did. I mean, I'll put it. May I share
Okay, yeah.
my initial thought? Because when you said it, I didn't think about the worst. I immediately thought about the best.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I thought about a few, but the first one that came to mind was Rogue. And she, her powers were so badass, but she couldn't live a normal life.
Yes.
She would kill someone if she got too close to them.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? She was born with that ability, or not born, but if she came into that ability through the mutation. And I love that her story, you know what I'm saying? Because I mean, she could literally acquire almost any ability for a short spell of time, but it has an impact to her psyche. It has an impact to her mannerisms. And I love that was a consequence of using her ability.
Yeah.
I thought that was so, I love her story. I don't know why she wasn't made. You know what I mean? Mystique, are you kidding me? What was special about Mystique other than she was a chameleon? Well, not a chameleon. She could, obviously, right? She could transform into anything, but I felt like there was no hardship there necessarily. They had to give her a lot more backstory, whereas Rogue could have been like, I mean, you could have went ham with that story.
Yeah, you've literally and again, you've explained it in a better way than I did. It's the cost that comes with it that was unsatisfying. Like I was saying, obviously, like back to Spider-Man, the great power, great responsibility, that kind of thing. That was one of the core themes. I just don't like in Captain Marvel. She was chosen for chosen sake, right place, right time, and became the most powerful. Spider-Man Street.
That's why they had to give her. They had to give her a consequence. She almost nearly killed off a whole civilization, right? Because she did something that she didn't realize. Oh my gosh, that actually is starting to kill people, and it probably has killed a lot of people, new generations.
But don't you see
right?
that like it's manufactured? It's like, oh, we've made her so powerful. How can we write in now that there are consequences? Because no one can beat her like in a head up. No one's taken her down. So it's like we've got to.
Literally, they have. Thanos took her down.
Well, kind of, but she was still there. She wasn't like.
She had a lot of help. Let's be clear about that, and still got taken down. So no, she doesn't get a win. I'm sorry.
I can't give it a win myself, but I just think
no one can. It literally worked out the way it did.
You'd be surprised there are people that like Captain Marvel, and this.
I don't think they should hate her. To be clear, I actually, there's parts of I wouldn't call it the movie, right? The idea of her. There are many parts that I enjoy. I want to be clear about that. I'm not a hater for it. I'm more hating on the, how the script was put together, right? Like you said.
Version.
Yeah, the execution was poor.
And again, I suppose this leans into something else where in a film you don't have as much time to, it's an excuse, but you don't have enough time to build out the character always in the way that you want. Like you have to take bits of the origin and,
I agree with you, but they're not even doing that on Disney anymore because they have how many series out? And now these series are like leaving you feeling empty.
Yeah, I've lost count.
Well, it's that, but it's like, oh man, I thought that series was really going to unfold and give me so much more on that. And
you've given me another
if it doesn't get
Jessica Jones.
They're waiting for the film to come out, guys. You've got to watch that as a to then watch the film to understand the film.
Who has all this time?
Guys, obviously, because they haven't got the budget to make 5 million films a year, so they have to make it a TV show.
All right, but okay, I got another Marvel one. What do you guys think about Jessica Jones? The detective style.
Basic.
She linked up with. You don't like Jessica Jones? Like, I'm talking in the context of.
What was I supposed to like about her? She was a
flawed.
Just a curmudgeon.
Okay, but
what
she wasn't
am I supposed to like about her?
She wasn't like a not like other girls just for the sake of it. Like she had a lot of trauma going on.
I've met plenty of her. Leather coat wearing.
I see what's going on here.
Greasy hair. Doesn't care about what she eats. So, I'm sorry. Have y'all not met this person before?
Oh, okay. Elements of that I can kind of.
Sunglasses inside wearing.
She's got about 1 million powers.
Jessica Jones.
One girl need that many powers?
Listen,
is that how superhero stuff works now?
She's the most street levelist hero you can ever think of. She just hits.
That's not true.
Come on,
that's not true. That's not true.
You don't think she's street level?
What about her is street? Tell me that part first.
She was
She lives in New York.
she was
This
doing the
is,
whole
you know,
PI thing,
oh my
Hell's
gosh.
Kitchen,
She
she
does.
was
So
in
she
there.
didn't have a job. She didn't have a job. Is that what you're telling me?
Well, she was
No, she was a detective.
Yeah,
That was her job.
a PI. Follow this guy. He might be cheating or whatever was going on.
Anyone can be a PI, to be clear.
What about a good one?
I mean, she has superpowers, so that made it better. I don't know.
He made a job
She's a
easier.
PI that catches people with superpowers. Normal PIs can't catch people with superpowers. There's got to be a niche.
That's a good point.
Batman.
Batman.
Sorry.
Batman.
I'm sorry. What?
We got to
What?
talk about
What
Batman
happened?
because he had powers as far as I'm concerned.
He didn't, though. He had money.
Normal
It's
guy.
difference.
Like he was
For a normal guy?
athlete. Money was his
What?
superpower. Unlimited funds.
No, discipline was his superpower. Discipline. Anyone could have done what he did, even make the money.
He had his head turned by Catwoman, Poison Ivy. He had all these little things going on the side. That's not discipline.
He's a man. He's a man.
Oh,
He's a
you're
man.
making
To
excuses
to
for
be.
him.
When you've
No,
got
no, no.
a collection
Everyone
like that,
is human.
like that's
To be
crazy.
Arab.
You've got
Look,
a
everyone
collection of women
has
coming
their
at you like
kryptonite.
that.
Okay, all right. What about Wonder Woman? Let's talk about Wonder Woman. Do you think she's a good?
Her
woman?
biggest kryptonite was ignorance. They kept her on an island her whole life. She knew nothing.
So she had a flaw,
Absolutely.
and she didn't seem.
She was
like
too naive. The world taught her to not be naive, and that's sad.
So she
That's
didn't-
reality, though.
Oh,
Facts.
okay. But what do you think about
Yeah,
this
like-
though? She's such anti-male, this and that. But she doesn't it doesn't overtake her entire character. She still has some.
She's a pageant queen, bro. She's royalty, literally.
Yeah.
So I don't see her
She's
as.
still front line. She'll get in the fight,
That's because she was born to do that,
but not just
right?
because she's a woman though. That's what I think
I didn't say that.
But I'm saying
I didn't say that.
in the context of the
Her at the time, though, wasn't she like? She was from further back in time, like she was from the war period. No,
oh yeah.
No, I
Talking
thought
about
she
Gal
was.
Gadot's version.
I'm probably thinking of the film, but I thought she was from like
Samus,
she was in war times, and she was quite an influential character in war times.
she
And then
appeared and did
they-
a few
I
things.
thought she's a demigoddess. That comes from like
Yeah.
the Zeuses and
Samus
stuff. That's
Cara
from
is-
way back in the
it's
day.
just way more complicated than I thought it was.
Yeah.
You thought she just showed up with the lasso and just started doing things.
She was like in the war times, and then Marvel spiked with her power somehow, and then because she just never died, she was like
And she's
naive
now
because she was
living
old
in
from
modern
old
day.
times, and then they brought her into the future, and she was like, "Oh, don't know what's going on here. It's not war times."
Does it now
So-
integrate? So you just thought she was War Woman
Yeah, basically.
or Tank Girl?
That's why her dress is like an older version of the American flag now.
Well, yeah. She's representing
It's
freedom.
always been short too.
Well, yeah, obviously. Women are highly sexualized anywhere, so of course it's really short.
I think she originates from the 60s, that era. Like, I think it was that period.
Oh, it's not that old. It's not the war
Hmm.
times. I was thinking.
Free the wire, or was it free the nipple? I don't know what it was.
Something like that. Yeah, there was, it was a more of a national, everyone had more of a national sense in those days. So the American flag thing was like, like Marvel had Captain America. Like he was the epitome of that thing. Won the war almost single-handedly in some comics. They'll tell it that way. But yeah, like, just in terms of the trope, I'm gonna say Wonder Woman. She's not. Like, for me, she sits somewhere in the middle where it could, depending on who's writing the character, it could go a bit too far with the, just being any girl I can relate to, any girl. I exist just to be a hero to women, but she does.
Well, question.
Go on.
I didn't mean to cut you off. I apologize. I just, because what you said, it made me think. You mentioned, I think, great examples of women who fit this mold. When you said, Catwoman and even Poison Ivy, those two women fit those molds.
Come on.
What? Are you,
Think
have
about
you
it.
seen Poison Ivy with your eyeballs? I know you're not blind. Are you joking? Poison Ivy?
Come on.
Well, now hold on. What's the question again? Right? Like, these women who stand out.
Not like
they're
not
different.
Like other girls.
Not like other girls. So think about Catwoman, for example. Okay, she's psychotic as hell. All right. Think about that. She is a cat burglar and she wears a cat suit. Okay. How many women are cat burglars and they live a life of crime? But like, I think that was an unusual character.
But do you think that was
It
down
would
to obviously you're talking about her character design and that I'm talking about who she is. Like obviously she's hypersexualized. We can't get away from that. And it's kind of like
no, I think the film industry did that. You know what I'm saying? I started by saying, hey, dude, this is a woman in a cat suit.
hmm
That's psychotic. I'm thinking about the brain, dude. Think about whoever wrote this person.
But here this though, don't think about it. We have the term cat lady. That's something that, in society in
Oh,
general.
guys, I bet you've never heard of DC's Catman.
I don't think
Wait,
that's related to this conversation though, because you got Batman, Penguin, Catwoman. Come on, man. It's like I don't think that made sense. And then you got Poison Ivy. It was very simple, actually. It's
they
like
tried
no,
to, yeah, they tried with the tropes, but Poison Ivy, it goes back to the thing like, oh, she's a siren, basically. Like
not a normal person. You see, not a normal,
you, you,
I
you've got
guess
an
a
argument.
villain.
You've
She
got,
was a scientist that turned into this villain, if you will,
yeah,
right? Because she didn't know what she was doing.
but not like other girls. When I say that, I mean the kind of character that thinks she's different. She thinks she's a unicorn just because she likes pizza, that kind of thing.
See, now I didn't get that. See, I didn't get that at all. Not like other girls. So
Mm.
she
There is
intentionally,
both negative and positive stigma around the term I'm not like other girls.
Yeah.
It's a newer thing to
hmm
put a very negative stigma around the term I'm not like other girls.
Yeah.
Like before everyone did it, it was oh, she's not like other girls, she's different, that's cool, she's unique, like and fun. And now it's oh whatever, we get it.
hmm
Like you're not like other girls, boring. Like it very drastically went from one end of the scale to the
Yeah.
other.
But do you not think that comes from like again, like when a character exists and their main personality trait is, oh, I'm anti-men, hate men. Like, do you not think that becomes a bit jarring at some
No,
point? No. Okay.
no, no. I get it if it's their main trope,
Yeah, like
but
there's nothing else to the character. She only exists to be an obstacle to either like men, or she's got views where it's like she's just anti-man across the board. There's nothing else to her. So we're talking the most
is
wooden.
that the same trope?
I think so. Not like other girls.
supposedly.
Well,
I
Shall
think
we
we're uncovering
look at
that
the
we see this
definition,
as
guys? Because
different
that brought some
tropes.
controversial topics last week.
okay, let's carry the controversy on then.
Yeah, but
Not like
so
other girls trick
No, you've
definition.
opened up a good ML Remy. If you
we
want,
need a definition
if you
here.
want to touch on that because that opens up a great conversation.
Right. The definition of not like other girls describes a person, usually a girl or a woman, who rejects conventionally feminine traits and behaviors in favor of masculine interests or a more tomboyish lifestyle to appear unique, interesting, and more superior to other women.
Mm,
I think we got our winner here.
I like
And in
that.
that case, another thought, I don't know if you guys recall Gina Davis in The Long Kiss Goodnight. It's got Samuel L. Jackson in it. And he's a private investigator, by the way.
Oh,
And
now you like it.
I'm just saying, I mean, anyone could be a private investigator, but she's in this movie, and it's another one of those amnesia movies, which I know we talked about that trope, but I'll really quickly. In this movie, you meet her. She's a teacher, a mother, a wife, and then all of a sudden, her entire world is rocked when an assassin comes to try to kill her, all because they saw her face on TV on a parade in the middle of town,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden, there's a bang on the head, and what happens? Those memories start to come loose. And then she finds out, she starts to realize, right, that she's about that life. She knows how to kill people too. And then like, as she's going to go find out more about herself, she starts changing her habits,
Yeah.
now she's a blonde hair. She cuts her hair off, slicks it back. She's got weapons. And then you got Samuel L. Jackson leather coat with his 6-shooter. But
The
that
shaft
transition, it was a whole transition. She went from long dresses, curly red hair, mother, you know what I mean? Oh, food, I burnt the darn muffins, to,
that kind of thing.
that time thing, to smoking, chain smoking, looking through a scope, trying to see who she's got to take out next.
That's a good
Perfect
example.
transition.
Because you mentioned there was a transition. She didn't just appear and she was she was forced into this situation by literally forgetting who she was.
Exactly. The catalyst happened.
So that's a good example. Before we move on, do we have any other good examples of the trope? I liked that one. I'm still not buying Poison Ivy.
Let's see what Google says.
The latest one, I'll say is, like I said, I watch a lot of animation movies now. So I don't know if you guys have seen The Mitchells versus the Machines.
No.
Dude, check that out. It's on Netflix right now. So it's a 2021 family movie and all-star voice acting cast. But I would say the sister in that, she's unique in that, her sexual orientation, her habits as far as like what she wants to do when she goes to school. That's the whole movie, is that she's moving out, going to school. And instead of her plans of just getting on a flight, going there and just leaving her family behind, her dad pulls the 180 and says, hey, you know what? I canceled that plane ticket. We're going to drive cross country. We're going to spend the rest of the next 2 weeks together. And then next thing you know, the apocalypse happens and machines take over the world, and they all have to kind of figure out who they are again. But animated.
Okay, that sounds.
And her character though it is not it's the plaid wearing, big nose. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not the normal.
Yeah. And
she's helping save the day because she is that person who can roll up her sleeve, take a punch, get back up, and I like that rough and tough girl.
And I think that the key with that one, like you said, is that wasn't her entire character. Like, she had a mission, and she was just placed in the scenario where she took those characteristics on.
She had to step up.
Yeah.
You saw her transformation, her character develop, because these robots were literally like blowing everything up, and before, her biggest issue was her dad was annoying as hell. So it's like you just I don't know.
No, that's actually that's a good one. And the one we didn't all say was, Hermione Granger. Like, what do you think about her? Do you like her? Dislike her? She was the most resourceful of the trio.
I feel like she doesn't massively fall into that trope. The only way she would fall into that trope is intelligence. But all girls can be intelligent. Like, the whole point of the trope is that you're more masculine. Like, she wasn't really masculine. Do you know what I mean? Like, when she went to the ball and all that sort of thing, she was still a girly girl. She was still the first one in the most gorgeous dress and always had the opportunity, always had nice hair, dolled up.
But she was always in the drama. She was always the first one to come, confrontational.
That's drama.
No, okay.
I don't want.
Go on.
Wait, so she was one of the boys until she hit puberty, Abby. There's a difference. A man doesn't see a girl as a woman, period. You're just one of the boys. And then the glow up happens. She comes down those stairs, and what happens? Ron stops seeing her as the boy. He's like, whoa, she's been a part of our group? Why didn't we go with her? You know what I mean? Like, that's what happens. That's the character transformation. So she might have started as one trope and changed into a different one. But I do agree with you, Carmine, because I wouldn't just say the drama, man. She was fighting trolls. Mm-hmm. She was a wizard's chess too. You cannot short this. She was right there with the boys. Was in the mix. See what I'm saying? I think it's different. It's not forget the intelligence. That just made her the asset, right? Yeah. Like they could not have survived any part of those years without her, period.
Yeah.
That's completely different. But I would say, as opposed to, I think she could be a part of this trope, maybe, because she is not like other girls. I agree with that.
Yeah, and you are right, Abby, in what you said. Like, obviously, she has a lot of feminine traits as well, but to subvert it, that's why she was the most confrontational. She was the most, she was almost a leader at times, even though Harry was the main character. She was stepping into those roles that traditionally go to the males.
Also, I was going to say to that, I love that what you just said is that sometimes she had to step in as the leader because Harry couldn't be the leader. And I intentionally wrote that myself, where everyone expects, I like that piece too, is where you expect the main character to be the leader, right? because they're the ones that saw the special things they're going through. But then you realize they're not a fit leader. They got a lot of shit going on. They're not worried. A leader has to be worried about their group.
Yeah.
Now, that main character is worried about a very specific thing.
Yeah. So until he was ready to kind of like lead and like as he gets
Harry, I don't think Harry has ever been a leader, to be honest with you. He couldn't. He couldn't. His number one task was to survive Voldemort. And actually, his number one task was to learn who he was and then survive Voldemort concurrently, I guess.
Yeah.
That was his task. He wasn't a leader. They just followed him.
Yeah,
that doesn't make him a leader. That doesn't make him a leader. Yeah. Because when they got there, he was just like, and he even admitted it. He says, honestly, I just do things and then I always have my friends to help me get through it. And I'm paraphrasing here, but he admits that. He's just like, I usually never know what the hell I'm doing. Because they thought he had a plan. He's just like, that's not how it works. We just kind of run towards the problem. And then usually either Hermione comes up with something or we get lucky. That's how it happens.
But he had all these, hundreds of deaths because of him. If not.
Well,
he's a kid.
There was going to be more.
He's a kid.
Facts. And I hate that too, right? They put all this and you think, oh my gosh, so many people died. And I was like, hold on. You think because this high school kid didn't just go sacrifice himself earlier, you thought all these people would live? No, probably not.
It's true.
Naivety. Innocence is bliss, as they say.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How's he supposed to know? He's just trying to survive. He was told to survive. That's all he's doing.
Surviving.
With his potentially unreliable mentor. As previously discussed.
Okay,
Facts.
So
that's a lot of trust there.
There's a lot of trust there. Like he was for the whole first installment, he was learning the world. Like he was almost like a passive character and just being dragged along by all these different factions.
I think he never stopped learning about the world. He didn't come from this, and the world kept changing even until the very end. It changed.
That's fair. And then you had all the prequel stuff as well, Fantastic Beasts, and that kind of fleshed out just to show you how dense it actually was.
Well, I mean, yes, the world, but also think about where they were in their seasons of life, man. They just graduated high school. What the hell do they know about the world? And they've been running the whole time. They have to go back home over the summer, and then they have to go running during the year to survive. So they're in boarding school and home. What do they know about the world?
That's probably why it connected as well at that time. It's like you're just taking them, just throw them in the most catastrophic circumstances. You'll get a good story out there. They don't have to be great characters, but the setup and the world building was done really well. But okay, so the next question I've got is like the trope, good or bad, but do you just think it's a lazy way of writing in terms of instead of giving them a personality to make them seem more deep, just put them against men and everything else? What do you think about that, Abby? I'll go to you first.
I think it depends on the depth of the character around the idea of it. Because if their main purpose is to just get in the way of the main character, like the male characters, then yes, it's a bit lazy. But if there's a reason, like a genuinely good enough plot reason for her to be getting in the way of the male characters or being different from everyone else, then yeah.
Bella was clumsy. That was her main thing.
But Bella was the next generation.
Oh, here we go. You're always going
I've actually not even watched a single Twilight film, which is actually a crime, by the way, guys. I'm just defending her for fun.
I knew what was going on.
I was just about to say, I think Kristen Stewart was clumsy.
Now we're separating the character and the character now.
We're getting controversial today.
I see what's going on. But
I think
go on.
If it makes sense for the plot for her to get in anyone's way, then yeah. And the trope's not necessarily getting in their way, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Like, she could be getting in anyone's way. It just happens to be that it's a bloke that's getting in her way, or she's intentionally getting in his way. That's the kind of way that I can understand it.
Yeah.
Like, it just happens to play out that way.
Okay, so you don't necessarily think it's lazy.
No, I think if it genuinely makes a difference to the plot, then fine. I mean, enemies to lovers, hello, one of the best tropes ever. She's going to be getting in his way and then she's going to fall in love with him, so it's fine.
That always works out. Emma, Remy, what do you think about this one? Do you think it's lazy? you think there's other ways it could be done?
I want to use an example I watched last night with my wife of a lazy way to execute this trope. Has anyone seen the new Jurassic Park? I think it's called Reborn.
Oh my God.
They gave Scarlett Johansson every opportunity to be a badass for no reason at all. And I think she was a private investigator too, by the way.
A lot of that going around.
A lot of that going around because anyone can be one. But they, there were scenes where, I mean, like she has to shoot a dinosaur and you think it's a big deal, right? Because the scientists tell, hey, you got to be this close, da 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 da. Only for when it happens, it's not that big a deal. I mean, the dart went straight through the skin. I thought that was the big deal, and I'm like, And so that was, that was one moment. Then there's just more moments where'd she get the gun? Why didn't she use the gun before? That gun came out of nowhere now. Okay, or why'd she slide instead of those types of, I'm questioning, why are you doing more than you have to? That's not
Doing too much.
That's not why you doing way too much. That's lazy.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because you want to see a woman go through these motions? I don't think anyone should go through those motions if they don't have to. Yeah. When you're running from a dinosaur, you're not worried about, you know what I mean? Like certain things. You're worried about, hey, either I got to be faster than someone or I got to duck, you're jumping over shit, you're crawling. I want to see that. And I don't think I know we didn't see that from her.
Do you think just because of how she's looked at, do you think that played into it? Like the whole Black Widow thing, secret agent?
Oh, yeah. 1,000%. She was way too cool. Too cool as a cucumber. And I'm like, who are you? And so they had to give her that, weird, ominous background of you can only call me like the way her meet cute happened with the other, I guess I'll call him the antagonist in the film, if you will. He's the benefactor. Was that she just kind of opened the door to his back seat while he was in traffic and sat down, and that's how they started their conversation. I'm like, who the hell is this chick? And why wasn't your door locked? Like things like that.
Yeah.
I didn't buy it. And then she's just like nonchalant. Yeah, I'll maybe think about taking your job. And then when she takes the job, she reneges on the deal and she does this elaborate hoax to try to get more money. And it wasn't intelligent. She didn't even get a lot more money for it, especially for what she had to do. And I didn't understand the purpose of it.
So again, I take it you're not a Jurassic Park fan or just
I'm a huge Michael Crichton Jurassic Park fan, and I'm even a huge Scarlett Jo fan, to be very clear. Them together in this recent film did not do so well. Damn. And I don't even think they'll disagree with that. Did you watch it?
I didn't watch the whole thing.
Do you plan to?
No.
Are you waiting to?
No.
Are you looking forward to?
What did you think about that, Abby? Do you
agree?
agree?
The whole point is that she was supposed to be a strong contrast compared to Jonathan Bailey's character. That she was a bit like, whatever, I'm here to get the money, I'll get out. And he was, I love dinosaurs. I'm only getting paid to be here. I just want to be here because I love dinosaurs and I want to save the world. And
then
it wasn't great. It wasn't greatly done. I will admit it wasn't greatly done. But then it was her saying, oh, it's fine. I'm going to be sneaky. I'm going to get more money. And I'm going to rinse this for all it's worth because it's whatever. And then she understood his passion and they came together and she was like, oh, no, actually, we're going to use this to save the world. So it was like, if you haven't watched the film, that is a fat spoiler. I'm so sorry. But
I'm not going to go back and watch that.
I
can confirm.
My point.
But if you're a genuine Jurassic fan and you like dinosaurs, you're just in it for the dinosaurs, aren't you? You are the Jonathan Bailey of the audience.
Which dinosaur? These dinosaurs were not the dinosaurs we grew up with, by the way.
They're mutant dinosaurs. They're not the same.
They're Godzillas.
They're all Godzillas.
They're mutants, obviously, because of the horrible experiments they were doing to dinosaurs. Mm-hmm. And that's why they've got the special cure that's going to save people with heart problems.
Is that what it was really? Is that really what was
Come on now. No. Come on now. Why would you risk your life after they tell you in how many decades not to go over there? What else could you possibly go over there for? It's not the theme park anymore. Now it's to save lives.
Oh, okay.
Not their lives.
Yeah.
It's to save humans' lives. Yeah. Come on, man.
Yeah.
If the professionals in the world who actually deal with these things say stay the hell away, wouldn't you listen? And if you didn't listen, would $10 million be enough to get you over there?
No.
No.
You couldn't buy me the earth to make me
like,
go over there.
Someone can make 10 million in a lifetime. Like, that's not.
That's her role. She should have 10 million in the bank already.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying. And my point is about the hoax of her trying to get more money. This dude said, "Hey, with this cure, we're gonna make trillions." And I'm like, dude, you just settled for $10 million to go over there and fetch this dude trillions. What is the moral of the story?
Yeah, that's a big jump.
Big jump.
Missing a few zeros there.
If you're getting trillions, I need billions, bro. That's the hierarchy.
Yeah, there has to be some kind of gift.
Jonathan Bailey's character isn't getting niche. He don't know how dangerous it is. He's built this whole contraption. He's going over there because he wants to see dinosaurs. He's not going over there. He's not getting paid. He's not even getting paid £1, let alone £10 million.
It's because he wanted to die with his heart and his conscience intact. That's the only reason why.
So it's
that was
motivation. I'm so glad I'm not going to go back in.
A weak motivation to go over there, for sure.
Yeah, 10 million just wouldn't get it done. All right, so moving on now. What do you think are the best ways to show that a female character's strong? Like, just blanket statement. What do you think? What traits can we pick out for, like, potential authors out there that want to get
intelligence
creative?
Immediately.
Yeah, intelligence is an easy win.
Mm-hmm. And then a unique beauty.
With intelligence, I think.
So you'd start with intelligence. All right, so that one's more obvious. Do we have any that are like less
physical flaw?
A physical flaw. That's quite strong.
Gotta have a physical flaw. For example, oh my gosh, let me look up the book while I talk about this. But one of the main characters, she had a missing eye, but you didn't know that to the end.
Damn.
Because it was so well.
Well,
that's why I might not even tell you the name of the book, but I love the book. And that was the big plot twist. It's like, I mean, one person noticed, her, a love interest, and she's just like that took her by surprise. She's just like, no one's ever noticed it before. Like she does a really great job. It's a glass eye, very well made. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this guy is just like, oh, like that eye. You know what I mean? And she's just like mortified that some dude, you know what I mean? Like she's missing an eye, and like some dude just immediately says, "Hey, I kind of dig that." Instantly, now you're like, to Abby's point, all right, now there's a little bit of love interest there.
Absolutely. That's husband behavior. Sorry, guys. Yeah. That's husband behavior.
It is.
It's an interesting one because a physical one, so it could be something like a scar that she's self-conscious about.
Always.
Like you said, with the glass eye situation, we've got intelligence.
Well, respectfully, if I had to pick a gender, like that's why I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this way. If I had to pick a gender, because it's only one. Well, I'm not gonna say that. If I had to say male or female, let me say that. If I had to say male or female, I would say there's a huge percentage of self-consciousness, right? That is prevalent in both sides. But there's more so on the women's side when it comes to their beauty.
Fair to say.
Because when a man sees a scar on this, like we talked about, if a man sees a scar on his eye or whatever like that, we're like, oh, he's badass.
Yeah, he's cool.
But if you see a woman with a slash across her eye and a missing eye, not very cool.
You kind of feel
right?
For her, like, damn, she had to go through that.
Why is that? Which gender thinks more, or I guess, one gender, I shouldn't say genders, but like, you really boast the beauty of one gender over another. Yeah. That's what we really want to say. You don't boast a man's beauty over a woman's. That's the big, that's what I'm trying to say.
Depends who you are.
Depends who you are.
Fair to say.
But in the world, when you put people on ads, you see more you see more female models than male models. You see more female strippers than male strippers. That's all I'm trying to say. It's not like, because we revere women physically more so than we do men. For men, we need men more because they're physically stronger. I think it's that simplistic when you get down to it. Women are naturally more prettier than a man.
Yeah.
That's the whole difference between masculinity and femininity.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's more of like the femininity part of it is why we react that way when we see a scar on a woman's
Hmm.
face, as opposed to, you know.
Oh, I suppose the easiest way is to bend the stereotypes.
Hmm.
If you think of any stereotype of your character, change it a little bit. That makes them stand out.
Yeah,
Whether it's a personality trait they have, whether it's their background, like you could be different because you grew up with six brothers and you're the only girl in your family.
that's good.
So you're much
That'll
more
get you some
masculine because you
scars.
grew up in a house full of men. Single dad and three brothers.
Yeah,
You know how to change some what? You know how to change some oil.
for sure.
You're a mechanic.
Basically,
I don't like
not formally.
you think of
but-
her jobs. Like
But also, I don't
unfortunately,
trust
it is
anyone
that
but my
easy.
wife to do it.
Unfortunately, it is that easy to change the stereotype of a woman. Sadly, it's that easy.
Why do you
I
think
mean,
that
same
is?
for a man. Not that it's about man, but I think you're right. You nailed it. Just change the characteristic. It doesn't matter if it's man or woman.
So why did you?
I think it's
think
more
this-
jarring for a woman.
Yeah, it's definitely more jarring, but it brings me on to why do you think this trope became like so popular from the 2000s, 2010s, that kind of thing?
Male-dominated world
Do you think they're just crying out for these characters now to be so?
or male-dominate commerce.
Yeah, the commercial side for sure.
Well, it's women fighting back for what they want to see in the media, isn't it? Everyone fighting back what they want to see in the media. And it's the media finally starting to listen. People don't fit into certain boxes all the time, and everyone can fall into multiple categories and multiple boxes. So why is everyone we see on telly or in a film exactly the same every time? People want unique stories, unique people,
Yeah.
interesting, and they want it to be relatable. Like, characters aren't fun if you can't attach to them. Like,
So do you think that's
people want-
like this is a wider conversation now, but do you think that's the most important trait for a character, relatability?
100%.
Could you enjoy a character that you don't relate to?
I think yes, in the sense of sometimes a character that you can't relate to can be humbling in a way, or it can be a unique perspective. Like, for example, I watch things like The Only Way is Essex because it's
I would not
reality
have had you
TV and I
down.
love the drama.
Okay.
And I just could never imagine myself in that life. So to watch people live that life and act the way they are, I'm like, really?
Okay.
Oh,
M-
okay.
For ML Remy, that's the English equivalent of like the real world, like trash TV, basically.
Gotcha.
Trashy reality TV, all kinds of mess.
Trashy reality TV. Another great example is probably Love Island. You probably know more about Love Island, but like watching people be trapped somewhere with like it's a lot of like cheating scoundrels and all that sort of side of things because
But
they
you
all
tune
get
in, you
stuck
tune
with
in,
each
right?
rich husbands, and it's all the mess of everyone being together and how they react to certain situations. And you're like, but if you come from loads of money, would you act? Which is like then like it's more of a it's also a little bit of I definitely wouldn't do that. That's a weird decision. Side of
Abby,
things.
you just jogged my memory because I watched a lot of, The Amazing Race, Survivor, and that literally changes. I think in the beginning, I think it started off really more authentic
Yeah.
than it was commercialized.
Mhm.
And that's just my opinion.
I agree.
And in the early stuff, you would see these normal average Joes, and they have to do these things that puts them out of their element, tests their strength, tests their mental capacity, whatever, right? And something as simple as, hey, now you need to drive across country in a foreign country, though.
Yeah.
And then you need to sleep in this tent overnight. And then you need to go run up this hill. Like, dude. And then you see, like, couples didn't always make it. Brothers didn't always make it. Father, sons didn't always make it. And there's a reason why they didn't make it, right? Either they started fighting or they were just physically wasn't capable. They
Yeah.
just couldn't keep up, whatever. I loved that type of scenario, watching these people, because what's the first thing you say? why did they do that? I'd have did this, or you know what I mean? Or you start being sexist as hell. It's like, you see, told you, can't drive. You know what I mean? Like you, or it's like, dude, no sense of direction. You get pissed off at your, you know, and you start seeing the arguments. And I'm like, dude, we've all had these arguments in an airport. You know what I'm saying? I love that. I think that's authentic, which was going to be my answer. It has to be authentic, not necessarily relatable, but authentic.
Yeah.
It's not always going to relate to me. It's going to relate to someone.
Yeah.
And I don't think a writer tries to write a character to relate to most people. See what I'm saying? I think they just want to write a character that someone will relate to. Yeah. I think that's the honest truth.
Yeah, it's correct, because I think it brings me to the quote of, if you're trying to write for everyone, you're writing for no one. Because no one's going to like everything. I think, Abby, you said a few episodes ago about like trying to be like walking the line, trying to please people. Like, you're better off just going all in with like your beliefs and like whatever else, and people respect that more, because it, like you just said, with authenticity, it comes through as this is your actual viewpoint. You're not just trying to, you know, sugarcoat things and walk the line and be likable to everyone. So I do think, yeah, authenticity is a massive one, to be honest. Yeah, not necessarily relatability, because we do like power fantasies and all these other things.
I think that's happening right now in our world, not to get into politics or anything like that, but I think the world over the past 5 years have slowly, you know, reverted back to themselves. And now fast forward, they're putting themselves out there. You see what I'm saying? Before, I think people used to hide, try to please, things like that. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot more, there was some things that worked really well in that era. But now, you know, I think we have a better understanding of where people stand.
Yeah.
And that there's some comfort, for me at least,
I agree,
behind knowing where certain people stand.
Yeah. And I think it comes through, obviously, in just conversations like this as well. Like, we'll just like talk about the topics. We're not overproducing it. We're not going to be in like a £1 million studio. Like, do you know what I mean? Well, yeah, but it comes across.
What, guys? Don't be Debbie Downer.
This comes across as more real and relatable, because we're actually like people. Like, whereas anyone watching
humble beginnings.
Yeah, anyone watching this will be like, oh, okay, that's, you know, his viewpoint, Abby's viewpoint, Remy's viewpoint, and they'll see us as people rather than, oh, they're just hosts presenting and it's a show, like a production. People don't want that anymore. They're going back towards authentic connections. And Abby, obviously, you're a bit younger than us, so obviously you're aware of this as well, that they don't want the overproduced, like, big budget.
They're just sick of being lied to.
Well, that's it as well.
That's as easy as it goes. People are just sick of sugarcoating things and hiding in secrets and lies, especially in politics. People are just done. Like, I voted for you because I believed you, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And that's not what it's about. It's putting genuine things forward. Like, even YouTube and media are all going back to the way they used to be. Like, because people just want what they know and what they love. When life is so stressful and so difficult, you just want to come home and sit in front of the telly, have a good laugh, take a step back from reality sometimes. They don't want the sugarcoating and dancing around things. Yeah. And it's so important in media to understand the world and put a good message across and believe in what you're producing in media as well, because you're never going to win a fan base by being fake. That's genuinely my opinion. Like, you're going to come out of the woodworks eventually, and then you're going to lose what you had. Why not just go in it full force? If you really want to do it, just do it.
I think that's the difference between a blockbuster and an indie.
Good point. They've got the backing, they've got the marketing behind them, the machine, the media machine. It's like they can push whatever agenda they want. You're going to see it. You know, you attach Dwayne Johnson to a film. A lot of people go to see that regardless of what it's about.
Well, that is not true anymore.
What? He said something, didn't he? He came out with a statement about it being typecast. And
getting back. He's trying to get back to his roots. Abby, you hit it nail on the head. Platforms are reverting back. Mm-hmm. They don't want blockbusters. They want subgenres. Some people like watching fucked up stuff. Some people like watching. That's just the fact. You know what I mean? And we don't want all sunshines and rainbows. I want to see this not end well. Okay. And hey, don't judge me. I'm not always going to watch this genre. Sometimes I do just want to laugh. Slapstick comedy, right? Like that. So, and you're not going to spend $300 million on a slapstick comedy. At least you shouldn't.
No, they've tried it.
See what I'm saying?
They've tried it.
They tried it. It's failed. Happy Gilmore.
Like,
Sorry.
some of the most iconic films that we talk about are all films that are not modern. Do you know what I mean? Like,
True.
they had the time taken into them.
Good point.
The plots were longer, and you didn't need 3 hours to get a good film across. Like, I'm so anti 3 hour films. Like, that is something you can talk to me about.
That's your
Do
limit.
you
Mission
seriously-
Impossible.
Oh,
Do you seriously need 3 hours to get from A to C? Really? Do you seriously need 3 hours? Because if you'd asked me that 2 years ago, they'd have done it in an hour and a half. So,
Well,
like, what are we
question.
doing?
Is there any movie that you can think of that warrants that length of time? That's a question.
I would say.
Now or before?
Yeah, I was gonna say like the only film I can really think of is Lord of the Rings. Needed to be that long, just because of how dense it is, and like with Tolkien and that kind of stuff. There's so much in it that you
If
can't
I may,
go on.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to, I keep cutting you off, but
No, that
I
was
want
the
to make
only
it a little
thing I was gonna
harder.
Say Lord of the Rings. I can't think of anything.
Well, I want to make it a little harder. Non-adapted films. Because in an adapted film, like you said, it has to be because of it. You know what I mean? There's content that suggests it should be this length, but I'm talking about just a film. You don't know if it's even associated to a book. That's the question.
That's a good point, because I'm almost leaning towards no. Nothing needs to be that long, because if you can't tell the story like without having to come from an adaptation in that time on screen, there's got to be a problem. I'll be a bit suspicious.
What about Titanic?
I haven't seen it.
I didn't really.
I refuse to sit through 3 hours when I know what the conclusion is. I refuse.
That's a biography. That's the only, I think, documentaries, biographies. I'm not saying you
know
can't
what,
cut it.
If it's true to life, then
If it's true to life, it has to be 3 hours. That's how, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, I got to tell this story, and if I break it, everyone's going to be pissed off. No, you got to tell the whole story.
it's not as accurate.
And then put it in 2 VHS sets.
but how accurate?
My
was
partner, I don't know how you say it. My partner says is it Dune?
Dune?
Dune.
Dune. He thinks that they're worth all 3 hours. But I don't know. Truthfully, I haven't seen them. Obviously, because they're 3 hours long. I refuse. But
I want to talk to you, dude, because I think they should have been miniseries, not movies.
it's controversial. I think the last one comes out this year, right? Is
The
that the last
films, I agree with them, but I don't think the film should be 3 hours. They should be miniseries. It should, it should be either a 4 or 6 type situation, episodes of each movie. Because I agree that there's so much substance in those books too, but it's just a really cool story. Not that I didn't get past the third one. It was getting weird.
It just got too weird.
It got weird. It got long. It got complex. So I was like, I'm out.
Yeah, there's 6 books, isn't there?
6.
Because the first 3 books you can buy like a fat edition of the first 3.
I think I got the first 5 in a set.
Oh, and you just
Thing.
I'm not going all the way with this.
I also refuse to buy box sets of series that I know are not finished.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to be pissed in 6 months' time when you release another set with the next one in it.
That would.
When I've already bought the one with 3 in it.
Yeah, that's a problem. Again, Kindle solves this problem. You don't have to look at it.
It solves the problem.
Another win for Kindle there.
I know.
Okay, so
Poor Amazon.
I've got another question. How does this trope feed into the idea that traditionally feminine interests like makeup, fashion, or pop music are inherently frivolous and less valuable?
Ask that again, bro. You gotta say that again.
How does the trope feed into the idea that traditionally female interests like makeup, pop music, etc. are frivolous? So how does it feed into this trope of not like other girls? Because if you're saying I'm not like other girls, you're suggesting you're something superior, or what they're into isn't necessarily on your level.
The first thing that comes to mind is Mean Girls.
That's
Of an example of that statement, because Regina George was that. She was very feminine, conscious of her body,
Mm-hmm.
all that sort of signs of things. And she was bleach blonde and really girly. And she was the leader of the girl squad and all that sort of thing. And then I can't think of her name of the character, but Lindsay Lohan comes in, ginger, volunteer girl, much more
Yeah.
like the complete opposite of Regina George. Even though being feminine is okay and loving that sort of thing, both of their traits, I mean, hello, they're both gorgeous for starters,
Mm-hmm.
but that was the whole clash of her joining that world was kind of to prove that that is okay as well as being something else.
Yeah, so it created a little bit of contrast there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good reference because it did. Yeah, it subverted the whole, because the whole point was like mean girls. This is how they are. If you don't fit into that mold, you're gonna have these kinds of issues.
You can't sit with us.
Yeah, that literally became a whole thing. That became a whole
So
thing.
it was kind of a way to combat that trope that
Yeah.
you're a girl because you are a girl, you know, you don't have to like certain things and you can like certain things. It's just gossiping and being mean is being mean. So
Yeah, I can't remember who wrote that. Was it Tina Fey? I think it was Tina Fey.
I'm not sure. I'd have to double check. Let's have a look.
Yeah, that's a classic.
I think
Another
the
great
best.
film.
I don't, did you ask the best or the worst, or just a great example of it?
I just asked, how does this trope feed into that belief that these interests are frivolous and, you know, they're below.
Got you.
Yeah, like not like other girls, not into makeup, and you know, it comes with connotations when you hear someone say that. So how do you feel the trope feeds into that?
Um, I think so. I want to use an example, and I also want to make a statement. I'll start with a statement. I think the trope, it differs by the maturity of the characters,
True.
because as you pointed out, Abby, again, those were high school girls. And so, you know, whether you're, I guess, Sex in the City or Golden Girls, right? Like there are levels to the seasons in your life, the friendships, and kind of how you address the frivolousness in your life.
Yeah.
And so I think the anthem for, you know, this topic is actually The Devil Wears Prada, where, you know, Anne Hathaway, she comes in, she is definitely not like other girls, but she realizes, okay, these attributes provide me, these are tools.
Yeah.
These attributes are actually tools that could either get me into someone's office, a phone call, whatever. Like it levels me up if you use them well. They're not all frivolous. Some of them are, and depending on how you use them, they absolutely can. But she, I think, really quickly figured out how to use it to her benefit. You know what I mean? Like, and I think so that's my example of a really great film that did all of that, right? These materialistic items are very frivolous unless you use them as tools.
And now that, and you touched on a good point there as well, because again, like in the name, like Devil Wears Prada, it's already setting the stage.
It's there.
Yeah, it's setting the stage to be like, oh, this is a bit tedious. You know, men might not enjoy this or something like that. So going into it, there's already all these preconceived notions of what it could be. But and again, I think what the trope does is it plays down a lot of those interests. Like, and this is why you get the situation where you do have the super masculine women that still like hold certain beliefs about femininity, but they want to be in, you know, traditionally male roles and that kind of thing, because their interests were played down as frivolous. If, you know, if they were treated as like given a fair shake, then maybe everyone wouldn't feel that way about those kinds of girls necessarily. Because I think the problem, and again, I hate to say this, but us as men, we are the problem in a lot of these scenarios, because we do like palm it off as, oh yeah, this little makeup thing that she's doing, this little thing over here. So, but by us doing that, we're playing it down, and then that forces them then to find other interests that are maybe more appealing, or oh, you're not into that, so then maybe I'll take up boxing or something, for example. And she's doing it for that reason, to kind of like oppose that view of what she was interested in naturally as a girl isn't good enough. So it impresses on their self-worth. So I feel that's how the trope kind of like fed into it a little bit. Because like you feel like you have to be different to other girls, like a unicorn in some ways.
Yeah, it's a lot of it is stereotypes stealing uniqueness from people
Yeah,
in a way. Everyone is different. Just because they all like the same thing doesn't mean they're the same,
yeah,
which a stereotype completely wipes that whole thing out. So bringing that trope to the front goes, I am really different because I'm not like everyone else, even though you can be like everyone else and still be different,
yeah. It's fine.
which is kind of a weird way to put a spin on that point, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Like a lot of the time they hang out with people that are like them and are the opposite of them at the same time to prove that although I am different, I am just as good as everyone else,
and
kind of thing.
yeah, it goes back to what Emma Remy said about authenticity. It's your motivation for doing that. Like, have you adopted this trait to be different because you're actually trying to be different, or is it something internal that's already there? So I think that plays into it as well. It comes off as pretentious if, you've made it your mission to, be as tomboyish as possible just because, someone said they hated your long hair once.
I want to come out of left field and compare this entire conversation, what we're talking about right now, to two different Olympics, male and female. Male don't compete against female, vice versa.
Yeah.
But also there are spectators, there are not players sometimes. And that, I think, speaks to the world. When you try to compete, right? You can't compete in every single spot, every sport. You can't do that. You have to figure out where your lane is, and sometimes you pick the wrong lane. You get hurt, you realize whatever, and then you got to find your right lane. And then there's those brazen people that dominate their lane, and they're like, I'm so badass, I'm gonna go jump into this whole other tournament and go kick ass there too, and realize, oh, nope, not the same. And that, I believe, is the state of with those tropes. It's you mentioned it. You think men are usually the issues in a lot of these tropes. That's because I think there's a lot of competition against that man.
Yeah.
And why, right? If that man's doing this, let that man do that. Go do that thing that either only you can do or you can do better.
Agreed.
That's how I see it. I don't feel like everyone thinks that way. They just see someone doing one thing and they're like, well, I can do that too. Yeah, and I can do it just as well. And I'm like, no, you can't. Why? You know what I mean? Like, this dude's been pushing that rock up that hill for years.
Yeah. You're not going to come in and just,
What are you going to do?
Like, there's a reason there's classes. There's a reason there's, tennis. They play a few rounds and little things. So there are differences. But, okay, so for the last question I want to ask you as well is, what's the male equivalent of this trope? Like, if you have to, what are the characteristics of the not like other guys? Because we get a lot.
Any
of that
sensitive dude.
Yeah, in R&B. I was gonna say we get a lot of that in R&B. But
if you see a dude that has any type of classified as feminine qualities, but also is an alpha, there you go. Bam. Not like other guys, right? He's a sensitive macho guy. I like that more. I don't just like macho. And I damn sure don't just like sensitive. Right? But you put them together, that's what I want. It's like, okay, that's the recipe.
What do you think, Abby? How would you describe that? Like, if you were to say someone was going
I think you had it there, Remy. I completely agree. Sadly, it's more feminine traits. Like it's just the opposite of the trope, isn't it? That I'm not like other girls is that you're more masculine, and you're not like other guys because you're more feminine. Like it's literally the direct opposite.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, in a lot of those scenarios, it's pinned on the gay guy in the group, which is really sad. But that's normally the scenario because obviously that's the stereotype.
Or the husband material.
Oh.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to date him right now, but she'd marry him though. It's that kind of thing.
Dude, it's the who do you go to pick that nasty pimple you can't reach? That's the person.
So you want the sensitive guy.
that's gonna be like a freaking surgeon. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
because that's his girl. He's just like, nah, I got you. You know, and
That's a good point.
you need that. You know, not that asshole that says like, no, I'm not touching that. You got it. You know, because that's what you would say to another guy, right?
That's the more typical thing. Like, you can take care of that. It's fine.
Nah, don't ever ask me to do shit like that. Do you want that guy?
Well,
Those guys exist.
Well, I think yeah.
Yeah, I don't change diapers. I don't change diapers.
Well, yeah, you're just not active at
Red
all.
flag. Everything he's saying right now is a red flag.
Oh dear.
That's my point.
Yeah, it's true.
But if you hear a guy say, "Dude, that movie made me cry," you're like, "Which movie was it?" Die Hard.
Die Hard.
But something about what he said, you're like, "Oh my gosh, I love that movie."
I mean, I love Die Hard too, but I wasn't moved to tears. Like,
It's because you're not a real feminine man, obviously.
I guess I'm just not. I guess I just don't have the traits. I'm not like, not like.
You're like all other boys.
I'm like the rest of them. I didn't cry.